Are live. I'm happy to see you guys again. So, for everybody watching, welcome to Understanding the World's podcast with Lea Iman. Today, I have Franky Selector and Troy Bottegal. You already know Troy, author of the book Business for Boys, multi-venture entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. And he's also the inventor of the airwave technology, which is the first technology in the world able to create waves in the ocean, surfable waves. So that's pretty disruptive. Wow. And Franky Selector, the one and only, he is a musician, music composer, singer, songwriter. He's also a technician, sound technician. He's worked with some of the big names that you see everywhere, from Ben Harper to the music industry, and its influence on the youth, its influence on the children, on teenagers, on the young generation, and on society as a whole, and how we can take part in a good transformation, for our society through art and through music. So, Franky, please tell us more about you and what you do.
Well, like you put it nicely, I'm a music producer, singer, songwriter, composer. I write music for television series, movies, and I produce my own music, my own project, and I perform it live. I do tours. I've been involved with different artists, different projects over the years, and I'm based in Montreal, Canada. But my second home for now is Italy, because I've been going to Italy touring Italy about twice a year since 2018.
Yeah, they fell in love with you.
Yeah.
So many fans over there.
It's a reciprocal thing, because I really fell in love with the Italian culture and their musical culture is very, very deep, and yes. I love the Mediterranean. I'm a Mediterranean myself, not from Italy, but my father is Lebanese, and so there's a kindred spirits over there,
Totally. It's my home as well, I'm always going to be Mediterranean. And so yeah, I feel, also responsibility to bring some of it into the music, the music that I make and everything that I do in general, because there's just so much in North Africa specifically, and Southern Europe, all the Mediterranean actually is so rich of civilization and culture that, I have to share it with the world. So yeah, Troy, please.
We spoke yesterday, and I listened to some of Franky's music. What's that one where you've got the two girls at the front singing harmony, and you got the guitar? It's something about she.
She's so carefree.
Yeah, I like that. That was
video,
pretty cool. Pretty cool. What was the question?
Well, tell us more about you, and everything. Because the reason I brought both of you guys today is because both of you talk to the youth through your creations, through everything that you do. You talk to everyone, but really we want to focus on the youth, because we realize that, that's the next generation, and they're being influenced by some stuff that we don't really think is good for humanity and for them in general, for our collective evolution. So it's kind of dangerous, we're reaching a limit where the culture is being influenced by just so many crazy things, from the hypersexualization of children all the way to super extreme materialism, the promotion of violence, all that stuff that we see in music. And because, Troy, you wrote this book about, destined for the youth and children, and it helps them really put their life in order, I thought it would be an amazing idea to invite both of you to see what we can come up with, in terms of solutions. To bring back humanity to the right path.
Yes. Well, I grew up in the goldfields of Western Australia, which is fairly raw. Historically, it's a place of just hard work and pulling minerals out of the ground, and for the rest of the world to kind of wear nice jewelry and that kind of thing, and to fill Fort Knox in America full of gold bullion for transferring between countries, but that's another thing. So. But the culture of Western Australia back in those times was quite a strong drinking culture, but without the European type there was a lot of survival in the culture.
Right.
And
right. It's
so,
like Canada is very similar, you know. And if you
yeah,
go out of the cities, if you leave the metropolitan areas and the cities, it's kind of like that, you know. It's like a lot of work in mines and petroleum in the woods and stuff.
yeah, yeah. So we grew up in an industrialized world, really. And I think kids were kind of like not secondary, but they were, and you know, they were. I'm generalizing, but they were kind of almost the forgotten people in society in the you know, post World War II, and you know, I think parenting, it went from the village and the tribe to having to deal with parenting in an industrialized world. So yeah, I grew up in that kind of culture. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna, at some stage I'm gonna sit down and write a book. So I went on the dole, which is on benefits, and just stopped working and dropped out when I was 25 after my engineering apprenticeship, and decided to write a book to myself about, you know, what I would have liked to have heard from my father if he wasn't so busy. And it's a book that it's a chat between the reader and to connect back with the emotional why about, you know, 12 topics: sex, alcohol, you know, money is a big one. The why, about the why we do things, you know. And I think it's an important piece, whether it's been well written or not. I think it has.
Yes,
but
I love it. Actually, read it, so I love
yeah.
the book. Absolutely. You know, it's just so amazing because it's one of those books that's super easy to read. You go through the chapters, anybody can read the book, really, and it goes straight to the point. You know, you don't waste too much time in philosophy and stuff like that. You just like go straight, ask the right questions. You know, why you do this? Why? Chapter about sex, chapter about money, chapter about, you know, your lifestyle, basically wellness and so on. So all the stuff that we're not taught in school, right?
Exactly.
So
how was your film clip yesterday? I looked at
everything that's happening right now. You know, when you turn on your TV and you see rappers, or now it's not even rap. Before it was strictly an agenda linked to hip hop that would promote violence between people, between rappers, actually, in the Black community, and they made it into a trend, you know. So who's the baddest? You know, the baddest is basically the one who has the girl who has less clothing, the biggest private parts, and shows everything to everyone, and talks about, you know, how much he makes, how much money. It's all about material. It's all about sex. You know, I'm gonna shoot you and date your whore and la la la. You know, I'm gonna beep beep the words. But really, that's where we're now. It's not even in hip hop. Now it's all over music, which is a tragedy, you know, because you see kids watch it. The majority of consumers of music are actually kids and teenagers. So that's why I thought it would be an amazing, you know, talk to bring both of you guys, because Franky, you are a musician with a lot of experience in the scene, in many scenes, actually, many types of music, many genres. So you've seen quite a lot of things. And Troy, you are a father, you are an inspiration for young people, you're an author. So what do you guys think, you know, about everything, about the culture, this route that it's taking, you know, this?
Yeah, well, I think some of it, I mean, of course, there's a lot of bad things, you know, values or sort of, you know, put forward for the kids, but there's a lot of show, you know, it's a lot of, it's a show, you know, it's, so it's like when you watch a horror film, you know, people kill each other and so that, but it's a horror film. So I think there's a lot of that too in pop music today. And because we've become sort of jaded with so much stimulus, you know, that now you need to up the ante all the time. So now they're getting, you know, everything is to the extreme, you know, which is not necessarily a good thing. But also the industry went from, you know, the rock songwriting, guitar-based music from the 60s, 70s to 80s, even to the hip hop, you know, becoming the mainstream, because before hip hop was just underground. Yeah. And and there was a lot of really good values in hip hop at the beginning, and you know, very well-cultured artists, and you know,
super good music
and
actually. Still now, you know, Timbaland.
Yeah.
It's just very few people like Timbaland and a few other producers that
we
stay.
talk about De La Soul and those guys, you know, but they sort of, the mainstream was the gangster rap, you know, whatever you call it, and so I don't think you can protect the youth from being exposed to that kind of stuff. But like you were saying, I think it's education, and try to give your children a good exposure to all kinds of music, from classical to jazz to pop. It could be pop, but to many different, and then they can at least have a broad spectrum of what music is. And if they listen to a bit of mainstream pop, at least they know that's not what equates to music in general, you know. I mean,
yes,
yeah,
because that's what's tragic, you know. There is just an overwhelm of trash music, you know, with all due respect of people who are making that music and stuff. What I mean by trash, it shows some trashy behaviors on the music videos and stuff like that, you know, some stuff that are not made for children. They're not even made for adults, you know. It's almost like watching a porn movie with music on it. Almost, you know, just like
we've
naked
gotten so
women.
used to it. We've gotten so used to it that for now it's become almost normal for us to be being exposed to that, you know.
And the lyrics, scary stuff, you know, really, really scary, violent, sexual, over sexual, and the kids singing it, you know. So I think, yeah, as you said, you know, it's definitely the responsibility of parents. But what do, you know, when they go to school and next thing you know is that they're watching that stuff with their friends, you know?
I mean, you can't put them in you know, make them live in a cave, you know, and not being exposed to the world out there, you know. They're going to be exposed to all kinds of stuff. But if they have a strong sense of, you know, their own identity and their own thing, they will be exposed to that, but it will not affect them as much, you know, as if they're, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is my opinion, you know. I might be wrong, but
I don't see a whole lot of guidance, for want of a better term, from the powers that be, to your Spotify's and you know, that was LimeWire. There's nothing. There's no disclaimers. There's no, and I think the boys and the girls at Spotify have kind of missed their responsibility a little bit. You know,
definitely.
Language,
you know, a lot of platforms,
sexuality
YouTube as
warnings
well.
on nothing. You know.
I remember in our generation, you know, in the 90s and everything had parental advisory on it, you know, when you know, we'd listen to Eminem or anyone, it was always like parental advisory, because there was stuff that was not meant for kids. But now it's like, that's why I'm extremely alarmed, you know, because I was away for quite a while, you know. I wasn't watching TV or mainstream or anything. And then someone told me, you should check these people out. You should see where the music is at now. And then I did, and I was horrified. I remember I like cried, you know. I was like, no, this is wrong, you know. Everything that's done to women, because it was mostly a clip of a Black artist, women artist, who basically sells sex, you know. So that's really what it's about. And I was horrified as a woman artist, you know, of what happened, you know. Why would you reach this point of actually needing to do all this stuff when you're a musician? You know, you're a rapper. You're supposed to be doing rap and respecting yourself and dressing properly. All hip hop is about culture. It's about resisting to all of this stuff, you know. It's about everything good, actually. That's how hip hop was born. You know?
Yeah, but money talks, you know. Like you see some of your peers, you know, starting being successful, having tons of money, buying this and that. So now you just want to have access to that yourself, you know. And then it's quick, it's fast money. And then you want your line of clothing, you know, like your fashion line. You want your perfume line. You want your this.
It doesn't have
and
to
it
be
becomes,
that trashy, right?
It doesn't have, but I mean, it's when your priorities are that, then I mean, it's. I don't know, man.
And it's a thing for money.
Like Troy was saying yesterday, I mean, it used to be that you listen to the artist to see, to get the alternative views, you know, alternative, you know, to politics, and to this, to that. There's none of that anymore in the mainstream at all, you know. Like,
So what can we do as musicians, as independent musicians? What can we do to? I'm trying to do my part. You know, I'm not that huge, but I'm trying to do my part. You know, where I want to produce real art. You know, I want to inspire people. I want to be a woman that respects herself in the industry. And yeah, even if I get canceled for it, it's the opposite. You know, I got canceled for speaking about abusing the scene. I got canceled for speaking about a lot of things. You know, I remember one time just talking about, you know, the rights of women in the industry and how the bookings are not equal. For example, you know, they book in big festivals, you'll see like 200 artists that are men and 2 women. I was one of the 2 women, you know, and I would look at that and I'd be like, man, this is like, it's crazy, you know, why would you do that? Like, there's just so many amazing women artists. Why wouldn't you give them a chance? And the answer was blank at first. Then the answer was canceled.
That seems a fair distribution of the talent. You know, there's not, you know, there's 200 talented men and two talented women. That's obvious, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, you know, there is this politics and music have to be separated.
Yeah,
I'm just so tired of the you know, music being used for it should be used just for art. You know, that's what art is. Art is supposed to be, it's supposed to help us, you know, express ourselves. We are the feelers for society,
I think
right?
there are different levels and different levels of music. You know, like there's sacred music, there's entertainment music, and there's also music used as a message. And they're not all the same, you know, and there's music as art also. There's you know, and there are many different levels of music. So I mean, some people use music to spread a message, like we talk about Bob Marley or whoever it is, you know, and they use music very wisely to this, you know.
So we need a new generation of artists that will go that big, you know, and have that much. Now, the thing is that there are amazing artists, but they never reach that many followers and fans being independent. Now there's a few that are just becoming super famous, and that's really great news, and they're independent and they're not political, and they're really real artists, you know, they do it for real. And that's very important. You know, for me, I'm just alarmed because a society with artists that cannot express themselves as they should is a sick society. That's part of the healing, part of the big healing. And this was since forever, since human civilization started being a civilization, actually. You know, it was, artists have a huge mission of healing the collective through art, through music.
We were talking yesterday about the need to comment on the last 3 years, which is the global pandemic and the various governments' approaches to controlling population responses and those kind of things, and lots of figures like Bill Gates jumping into the equation and stuff. So, you know, the music industry, we were saying yesterday, that it was absent without leave. It wasn't doing any satirical commentary through music and lyrics on that whole situation for 3 years, and I thought that was a bit sad. I thought that it was so commentable and so open to being satirized, and we had nothing.
I will send you something that I made. It's very interesting. It's a music set. So it's with another artist basically who made this track about it, and he got canceled. That's why I picked it up and I put it part of my music set, my DJ set, because he basically made a crazy, powerful track about the pandemic, you know, where he's like, you know, everybody treating people like sheep and so on. And he got canceled for it. In the music industry that's supposed to be alternative, which was super alarming, which is like psytrance, you know, electronic music, trance music, rave music, where people are supposed to go to free themselves, you know, and take psychedelics and dance and heal and blah, blah, blah. Can you even believe that even that industry is the vaccines? They were actually asking their fans to go get vaccine to attend their concerts. I really would love them to comment right now.
A lot of people. Yeah, it polarized a lot of people. Yeah, so people went extreme one way or the other, and and basically it divided everybody, you know.
Yeah,
Yes.
People are still divided now, you know.
My problem was there was no lampooning, there was no satirical look at it. You either called everybody sheep and called the government out what you thought they were doing, or you just sat and hid. There was no one, you know, bouncing around with that kind of fun language, you know, like you know.
No, I
like,
totally.
Like say,
I think we are in a moment where we are making a choice collectively, where, you know, whether we want it or not, we are presented with two sides, you know, and it's like, well, you're going to get vaccinated or you're not. You have to decide. You can't be like, I'm neither, you know, because that means you're not going to get vaccinated. And so
but now we're over
whether you want it or not, you fall in one camp or the other. You know?
Yeah.
But what we were saying yesterday that I found amazing was that you can actually be neutral. You can choose your side and still be neutral if you respect the other side. So I know it's going to sound crazy and they're going to criticize me for saying this. But as I said yesterday, I'm done blaming the devil for being the devil, because the devil is the devil. And that's it. You know, he's just the devil, man. You can't blame the devil. You know, hey, devil, why are you a devil? Like, well, I'm just the devil. You know, this is what he's going to say. So I think the issue here is really humans, you know, where they love that stuff. So if you put, if the music is made by the devil and it's trashy and horrible and and promotes everything wrong, and people still like it and love it, even if they have the choice, then we can't really do anything. We should just keep doing our art, loving people, and they can make their choice, you know. So in the end, I think everything is perfect, you know, even the darkest stuff, even the stuff that is like crazy, when you look at it from a cosmic perspective, like, okay, what life is just a manifestation of our subconscious, whether we are individuals or collective. And this is where it's super important that people do the inner work, because collectively we are manifesting the devil. That's what's up. So the pandemic, it's like, because people didn't do the work, they're manifesting this darkness, you know, whether it's in music or in politics or whatever. And they're like, oh, it's horrible, you know, but guys, that's just you. It's another form of you. It's all your shadows. There is a saying in French that I love. Le peuple n'a que le gouvernement qu'il mérite. The people only have the government they deserve. This is crazy to say, but it's actually true. You know, and you can see it from the French Revolution, how everything changed, you know, when they took power and they really went and then they changed. And then now again, it's falling in authority, you know, like just a control system. So yeah, so it's in the end, the healing has to be done so we can manifest angels.
Let's talk about the, I get that. So let's talk about the music industry, right? So music industry is probably going to be one of the drivers of the new world. It has to be. You know, it has to come from art. Like, if it doesn't come from art, it won't happen. Because now all of a sudden Spotify's using AI and to dominate the music industry. So you've got to be on Instagram or on Spotify to have a chance, and that's really sad because you've got people in garages that have no chance at the moment.
Yes.
So I think the music industry to take back control over its own industry, because Spotify is not, in my opinion, is not the music industry. It's
a platform. It shouldn't be.
It's a thing, but I like the idea that you were suggesting yesterday about a new, you know, going back to television and that whole thing, you know, with a sort of.
It's a tough, locked-in world, you know. If you say something wrong, you can forget TV. You can't say shit we're saying right now on TV. You can't.
No,
they're going to kick you off the plateau, or they're going to be like, cut it and redo it again. And, you know?
Yeah, you have to answer to producers.
Right? So you get a big tree, right? You get a big tree, and then a little spore comes along and grows in the bottom of the tree. It's called the host and parasite syndrome, right? So the big host, little parasite comes in, and then it just changes the whole molecular structure of that tree, so that the tree's starting to grow what the parasite needs to eat. So it's the same with I'm not sure if this is controversial, but it's the same as a TV station. They're like, wow, we're losing.
I love controversial. Bring it on, Troy. We love controversial.
We come along and we go, We go, oh, we've got some music, and there's all these new musicians, and no one can see them, and we'll advertise that fact. We're like, oh, that's really good, because we're desperate. So all of a sudden,
but the labels, the music labels they work with, they're gonna call them and they're gonna be like, we're not giving you any money anymore, because that's what that's what we're talking about.
They won't give any money. I mean, the music, the record labels, that's what they did with Spotify. You know, now they're in Spotify. The payolas are there. You know, they pay to have your. But what Troy is talking about is not going with the record labels, right? What you're talking about is just no.
But what I mean is that most radios and most TVs are owned by the same guys, and those same guys also own the record labels. You know what I mean? So they promote their own artists. That's why you see Rihanna everywhere. It's not because she's the only artist that exists or that makes good music. It's just because there is, you know, her people are pushing her music because that makes them more money because they are with her. And why would they bring in competitors, you know, of their own artists? That's what I'm saying.
They don't know they're actually competitors, because I'm not going to say about their intelligence levels. I'm not going to comment on that, but they don't know they're competitors. They just know it's new music. Oh, we want more viewers. Well, we want our viewers to see new music, and all of a sudden you're there. Yeah, and you're in, and you've got two guys, like you've got maybe Franky, he's a great looking guy and he's got lots of character. He's one of the hosts, and you've got someone who else is, you know, maybe someone like you, Leah, and you're like, hey, we found a couple of guys in a garage in Manhattan, and here they are. Like, whoa.
I have artists to fill up an entire, a 1 year festival, 1 year, you know, of music. I swear, that's how many amazing artists that I know that don't get a chance, you know. Now, they are buried in Instagram. They're buried in Spotify.
Now, the secret is, though, you can't have just any old artist because you like them. That you have to select them because they have something. That they've got pimples and long hair and they represent youth, right? And they're slightly dirty, and people are going, thank God, you know. And we've got the raw again, you know. That's the secret. That's the magic.
I think that's a great idea, Troy, and
we should all do it.
Reiterate we should do it.
I have received some requests from investors saying, hey, would you like to make music festivals? But these are good investors, you know, people that really, angel investors, people that really want to change the game. And I was like, guys, yeah, if you can clone me, and if you can make many of me to take care of that too. But Franky, maybe you can help, you know, because I know that there are people that want to change the game and they have the means, and it's just going to be amazing. You know, I think the music industry is already collapsing in a way, the mainstream, you know, the mainstream one, because it's when you go on to just go on any group on Facebook, any big media outlet that just does music promotion, and read the comments of people are sick. And they were like, can you guys stop posting about Madonna? Everybody's like writing the same thing. Like, are you done? Like, can you show us some music? Can you give us something, you know, give us some art? So pretty big. So I know a lot of people are getting this kind of information and they're losing trust in their artists, you know, and the ones that they used to trust before, you know, people that we thought were representatives of humanity and human rights and everything, you know?
Yeah. And I think there's some young guys in garages and some girls that are sitting writing stuff, which is amazing. That's not coming to light because there's a big machine.
Most definitely. Oh yeah.
Now it's everything is social media. You know, whomever masters social media will be a star. Really, that's pretty much it. It's so sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but that's what it is now. Tomorrow, it's not gonna be. There's gonna be something else, you know, because this lifespan of that is short in the greater scope of things, you know. I think. But it's true that the new artists, the new people coming out in garages and basements are amazing. I work with a lot of young artists, and they're all better than we were at their age. And if you have a good, like you say, festival or platform and this and that, I think that's how you can have a counterweight to the bad industry that's now. You know, it's just by making great product, great music, which is inspiring to people and this and that, and that's how you can make a difference.
I think it's a beautiful opportunity, Franky, you know, to respect. I'm just learning this, you know, because I'm very vocal, you know, and I used to trash them and all the way to super light. This is just how life is, you know. Otherwise, whatever force governs this universe wouldn't allow that stuff to happen, you know. So it's like a game, you know. So everybody's playing the game. They've been playing for a while. It was in the 60s, it was the light forces that were winning, you know. That's why you saw a lot of, you know, John Lennon and Bob Marley's and all those guys, Michael Jackson, 70s and 80s and 90s and so on. And then now we are going through a dark phase, you know, where everything is like super dark, all the music and everything. And I have a feeling that, and not just a feeling, an observation too, from seeing people's comments and seeing the real truth, not the fake likes that they buy for their super, you know, super famous made, you know, because they're not really famous, they're just fake famous, you know. And they end up becoming famous because they're very famous. They're like, who's this person? So many millions of likes, so people follow, you know. And it's a tragedy because you end up with just anybody doing anything and getting people's attention and being an influencer and influencing people, you know. So yeah, I think we are now, it's just happening by itself. It's organically happening, where the traditional mainstream is slowly going down while other independent artists are emerging. So it's happening by itself already, because that's what people need. And I wouldn't be surprised that we live another 60s, you know, another flower era.
It's possible. It's quite possible.
I still think you need to push a direction though, because you've got this huge, like I call it a matrix because, you know, I like the Matrix movies, but it kind of, we've got this huge push, which is kind of Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, all this kind of stuff. And you need to kind of push, it's like almost like a cattle yard. You have to have a gate that goes, okay, we're going to try and push some people over here and then start a new colony of things over here. And then we will get the 60s back, which is the heady days of music where people were just, everybody was playing an instrument, everyone was on a psychedelic, and we had amazing stuff come out. And that you know, the next
Troy,
years.
that's the reason I fell in love with Franky's music, Franky's art in general, because I remember we met at this, what was that, like a party, like a house party with a bunch of musicians jamming. It was so freaking cool. Like, wow, really good music, really good vibes.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this guy's like from the 60s, like some reincarnation from maybe John Lennon or someone, you know, because he just plays in the same style, you know, in the same vibe, in the same spirit, you know. And that's amazing, Franky. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything that you do, you know, for keeping the music alive, for keeping the spirit, for making real music, because it's not AI, it's not, you know, it's stuff that come from within you, studying music, teaching music, all that stuff, you know. Really important
Franky,
to come back
like
to
a young Michael Nesmith, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I want you to write down Mike Nesmith with palm trees on it, and he's got the maracas going, and it's crazy, you know. And he's ex-Monkeys, and Monkeys was a 60s band that had.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Lea, you must write that down, because we can just turn this into a kind of music fan thing, you know. Where we just talk
it's about music fans, you know. For me, it's all about music fans, you know, and that's one of the reasons I spoke and I was so vocal about abuse, is because I refused that my fans would go, this guy opens for me or I open for him, whatever, you know, we play in the same festival. So one set after the other, and I come there and I find my fans completely like, you know, like destroyed with the music. And I'm like, what were you doing? You know, because music affects people. And that's, it's not just entertain. That's what is tragic, is that it's seen like entertainment when it's actual energy manipulation. It's magic. It is medicine. You can call it medicine or you can call it venom. You know, it's the same ingredients basically. So sound is something so powerful that changes the structure of this universe. Everything was created by sound. Matter is moved by sound. It's scientific information. It's not something I'm chirping about. It's real. And so, so it's a responsibility. And so that's why I was alarmed by these guys, you know, just doing so many crazy drugs. raping people backstage, which we called out, and I got canceled for it. And then going on stage and playing music in front of God knows how many people and affecting them with that energy. That's just not okay, you know. So since I spoke about that, I got canceled. And then I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. If this is the price I have to pay, I will pay it gladly, no problem. And I didn't get a single booking in 2 years, and I didn't mind, you know, because my fans for me is the most important thing. It is about the fans, you know. An artist without fans is no one. We have to love our fans and to bring them their information. They love us. We have to love them back for real, not love them fakely, because those guys are the ones that make us who we are, you know. And so everything for me, it's all about the fans, as you said, Troy. And we need a platform, you know, that's where fans can vote for real without faking it, you know.
I go back to the garage band guys, because everyone's been in the garage. If you're an artist, you've been in the garage.
I was in the garage.
You stay in the garage. That's the best hidden secret.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how you learn.
People don't imagine that, you know.
Exactly. That's the best school.
Imagine
man.
those moments.
Yes.
You know, those moments in the garage where all the guys you're playing with look at you and go, "What was that? What was that?" And you're like, "Hang on, I thought we were heavy metal." And then, no, we're modern pop, you dickhead. You know, those kind of, but that's what the world's missing out on with Spotify, is those guys and those personalities just aren't there anymore. You don't get an interview with like an up and coming band on a mainstream platform, you know, like, and how awkward they are, and you know how they've got their hair pushed down to one side, they've got this crazy stuff happening. You don't see it much anymore. You only see. Yeah. So you know, I think it's important to kind of really start to bring that to the fore, because that's what's going to capture and release young people from just getting manipulated by you know, AI and all that kind of stuff, you know.
But Troy, I'm just thinking, how do you, because young people these days, nobody watches TV anymore, traditional TV, right? They don't even, they just watch stuff on their Instagram,
they'll seek it out though.
YouTube.
If they know young people sniff new stuff out, and they'll sniff it out no matter what the thing is, whether it's on Stan or Fox or, you know, or CNN, they'll sniff it out. So and what happens is the people that want that lollipop, want that sugar water, will bend over backwards for the people that bring it to them. You know,
because the people are asking for it, so it's gonna happen. It's meant to. And I think, you know, as Troy, it doesn't have to be just like a TV channel. Every TV channel is present on social media right now. So when you say TV, you just have access to more people. And that's it, you know, like millions of people.
Imagine if you link that new TV product, or wherever we made the product, to an annual festival, or like a 4 festivals a year that feature the people that are on TV.
That's what you need, actually.
Yeah. Then you're kind of dovetailing it in, and they can meet the people that they saw on the television all the time, and they'll travel around the world to find them. And then you've tricked the matrix. You've kind of gone, okay. And it doesn't take much to trick a matrix.
And one feeds the other too, you know. So the event,
Yeah.
Well, this is we're trying to do.
You got to be careful putting
Go
them
ahead.
out in the public, though. You got to be careful putting those ideas in the public. You better put that in writing first, you know, because you're gonna get snapped.
Yeah.
It's okay, you know. I don't mind. You know, a lot of people copy Eden Global, for example, my company, and I don't mind. You know, at first I used to mind, but I was like, guys, just do something. You know, if you would like the idea, you can engineer technology that can help the world. Please do it. Just don't steal our name.
For sure.
Because they go so far to steal even the name. I'm like, guys, don't do that. I'm gonna sue you.
No more talk. We'll just catch
exactly,
later.
So I think definitely there are things that have to be spoken with some really good producers as well that are considered mainstream, but they kind of step back. Some people as big as, for example, Timbaland produced so much amazing Geniuses tracks. I think more than anyone, but he's always in the back, you know. You never see him at Grammy Awards and stuff like that. He's worked with the right people in the industry, you know, from Tupac all the way to Aaliyah, and those are for me, that's the good guys, you know, Erykah Badu, the people that stayed real. no matter what. You know, they offered them so much money to sell out, but they didn't. They're like, no, you know what? I'm Erykah Badu. I'm not going to do that stuff because I'm Erykah Badu. You know, I just don't do that stuff. She's a priestess, a real one, that heals people through music. And so we need those guys to support these ideas, you know, ideas like this, because they have access, they have millions of fans, and they can make a difference for real. They've been trying, but I just feel like efforts are not united, you know. And so that's what we were trying to do with Eden Planetary Alliance, but it's not really, we weren't doing it in music, we were just doing it in general, you know. We were inviting just anybody and everybody that does something good for the world to join forces, to come together and support each other, you know. So it's completely decentralized, completely free, and we just want people to be united, because unity is strength, you know. When the moment people will realize that if we unite all our forces, whether you do media or you do music or whatever you do, you're an investor, a business person, you can actually make a difference if we all work together, because the platform is already there. So the light bulb went on, and I was like, damn, people, I mean, everybody already did a great job. There's just so many amazing, I'm talking about millions of powerful people around the world that are working actively, that have billions of followers as a collective, but they're not united. And so that's what Eden Planetary Alliance is trying to do. You know, it's to unite all these guys, to make everybody come together, support each other, support each other's projects, support each other's music, and that's it. Bingo. Then people will have the choice, because we're not. I just want to specify, like, we're not trying to go against anyone. After I said, you know, I already said it, that the devil is not to be blamed. We're just here to play a role. So now we have to play, you know. It's not, we're just gonna, you know, create this alliance, create this platform, and then people have the choice. And that's okay, you know, they can choose this, they can choose that. We don't mind. We don't have an enemy.
No.
We are all one.
In fact, you know, so, I think sorry, you go, please.
No, go ahead, Frankie. Troy, sorry. I was gonna talk to Frankie.
Yeah, did you have something to say that was really? It sounded like, it looks like you've got something interesting to say.
Me?
Yeah.
No.
About the platform and everything we are doing.
The platform. I mean, I agree. You know, I just agree with what you guys are saying. But I mean, it's a matter of, you know, doing it, and who's on board and who's not. And
I think the problem, if you have too many people making the little pill that changes everything, the little pill doesn't get made. It turns into a truck of lots of pills. You can see the truck coming, you know. There's a truck coming down to kind of say, if we're gonna turn a dam, like, you know, a dam, like a pond. Yeah. We're gonna turn red into purple by putting a blue pill in, right? And we got one, and it's easy to get one blue pill down to that dam in your pocket. A nice, strong, well thought out pill. Pop it in, you got purple, right? But if you go, we'll get a lot of pills, and they're kind of like just light blue, but we'll truck them all down. Someone's going to see the truck and hear the truck. So it's got to be whatever you do in life, you've got to make a plan and then execute without anyone knowing really what you do.
Exactly.
Or you let everybody know, and that's another strategy.
Your strategy,
like, hey guys, we're doing this, you know, and that's it. We are doing it. That's it. It's over, you know. It's already happening. So yeah, we invite everybody to join, you know, to join the movement, join this amazing. It's already happening, you know. I see it in the future. I know that big portion of humanity will choose what's right for them. And as I said, you know, I just also want to apologize to everyone who I considered an enemy for a while, you know, because I was seeing everything they were doing, and maybe they are not enemies after all. Maybe they had to go so trash because humans were not awakening, that they had to have a rude awakening, that they had to go so trashy that Sam Smith is wearing the devil horns and taking his clothes off stage with the Grammys, you know, doing like BDSM stuff on stage. So that people are like, oh shit, maybe it's actually real. Maybe these guys are not who we think they are. And then they will look for what's right, you know? So all is perfect. They did a great job. I want to congratulate them. The dark ones, you know? they did such a great job in kicking people's ass and, you know, just being so trashy and so in their colors and proudly wearing that ugliness. It's okay. It's like it's their colors, you know, so it's also beautiful. It's the ugly beautiful, so all is well. And yeah, I just want to tell everyone that there's still hope, and both of you guys are big faces of hope, you know, for the future of humanity. So please, now we're reaching the end of the podcast. Please tell our listeners, our viewers, a last word. Franky?
Oh.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I would say that, you know, like the sun, you know, if you look at the sun is not doing anything different than just being the sun.
Yes.
And what does the sun do? The sun spreads light and attracts stuff to it. So you don't need to do anything. You just be yourself and, you know, things happen.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Yeah. I agree. But the problem is that many people were not being themselves, you know. But they were doing things that are not, especially music, you know, where there are artists born to do something, but because they're bribed and offered money in exchange for their silence or for whatever, then they're like, okay, fine, I'm just not going to be myself anymore.
You can't do anything about that. All you can do in return is to be yourself and do something positive, you know, yourself, you know, and be a counterpart to that, you know, basically.
Yes, that is the best advice I've heard in a while. So thank you, Franky. Thank you.
It's simple. It's a simple, yeah.
And also, you know, just because I'm remembering now, to all parents watching this, please check your kids' phones. Check your kids' tablets, TV, everything. Please control that stuff because there's just so much destruction of culture happening. Things that can potentially destroy the personalities of children.
Yeah, but don't cavity search your kids. That's not on.
Crazy.
One last thing, Troy.
Basic stuff, but don't do it. So, yeah, I agree with Franky. I just think, you know, like I said yesterday, go out in the bush, get your dad off the couch, take the beer out of his hand, get in a car and go bushing. Go and find yourself. Go and find your son. You know, just be, as Franky said, go and find out who you really are, and then base all your decisions back on that. You know.
Yes, 100%. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for being here today. I enjoyed yesterday's chat and today as well. I consider you both really amazing friends, and thank you so much for coming and sharing your light with us.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, let's keep rolling.